Welcome back to Metroid Zero Mission. Today is the cleanup episode. So I'm gonna quickly pick up this normal item, and now, Loka, you just start talking while I go scream into a pillow.
So anyways, just finished Xenogears, have some thoughts on that I could talk about maybe. Holy fuck, you're really committing to this bit, huh?
I am of the belief that this is the worst Shinesparking segment I've done. Bear in mind, I don't usually 100% Metroid games, and Dread's the only one I've 100%ed. But that one sucks a lot. So yeah, that's the worst Shinesparking I will be doing for this entire video. Got it right out of the way immediately. So yeah, I think one of the things I need to mention about Shinesparking is you do have a little bit of time to sort of refresh the Shinespark itself, which is why I did have the moment to sort of stop before each jump. I've mentioned this before on streams at least, but you know, I am typically a very twitchy player, so like, having to do Shinesparking is complicated because you do need to hold a direction and jump, so you do somersaults, because if you just press the jump button, that activates the Shinespark and then you go flying. So I kind of just have a very bad tendency, if I'm rushing too much, to just accidentally go. There were so many attempts there where I just rammed into a normal wall, not the right wall. But yeah, that is the worst one we'll be doing. There are a few more, of course. That's not the end of Shinesparking.
I do love that the old segments here are still, like, populated with stealth segment style enemies, except you're just blaring through it.
Yeah, that's very fun. When you come back through this area, yeah, you can just shoot them and just waltz around the thing that was just threatening you a few minutes ago.
Solid Snake infiltrates Shadow Moses with the BFG from Doom.
I mean, I guess that's sort of a new game plus in Metal Gear Solid normally, though, right? Like, you get the unlimited ammo bandana, and then you can just fire forever.
Yeah,
it's sort of it.
It doesn't... What are you doing? Go the other way! Now you're dead! You could've just let her go.
You did this to yourself. We're back on the Space Pirate Mothership. We will be doing a little bit on here, though if you're aiming for 100%, just be cautious about where you go. Also, here's a powered-up Space Pirate. However, his AI isn't great, so if you just attack him immediately, he will just sort of jog in place while you shoot him a bunch. Otherwise, they have very high defense, and therefore, you can't just smack them down. You can't just immediately kill them like you can these guys. Anyway, though, Space Pirate Mothership, just be careful of where you're going so you don't run into the final boss. Technically speaking, this would be the first point where you would be getting super missiles if you didn't get super missiles early from that other Shinesparking segment I did that, in retrospect, wasn't actually that bad. So the cool thing about this is, a lot of the items you get in Chozodia and the Space Pirate Mothership are items that didn't actually appear in the original Metroid. So this is sort of the game's way of being like, these items still exist, and it's consistent with the old Metroid, where you don't find them up until the point where it's no longer original Metroid.
Huh? Don't hurt him!
So I like that continuity, so... Yeah, now we get the very powerful super missiles, though. To be fair, if you wait until now to get them, there's really not much left to kill with them, other than those super powerful space pirates and the final boss. No, I'm going this way, you go away. Whoa, geez, hello. Good jump. Oh, we're gonna get you. The Super Space Pirates will not follow you between screens. They are strictly just right here. They keep to the room they're in.
Oh, hell yeah, another one. Stop hurting him.
But he goes so slow. Look, this is just Samus's way of saying, hey, I'm walking here. It's with missiles. She's walking here, and that Gonk droid just was not respecting her walking. Can't disrespect that one, though.
This just seems really irritating.
It is a little bit. I would say I don't know why they did that, but I kinda do. Alright, so... technically speaking, we are almost where the final boss is on the ship. So I feel like this is a pretty good length for, you know, the final jog between getting that one upgrade and the final boss, because right about now is where having this whole setup is kind of just normal now. Oh, there's that guy with his cake.
You're gonna follow him and kill him and eat his cake.
Alright, so you have to activate security here. However, this is the Power Bomb upgrade. Bomb, normal, and power. So, the Power Bomb is a screen nuke. Goodbye! We don't get many of them, especially starting out. So, we just... oh, don't follow me. Don't follow me inside or outside.
To the stratosphere.
But yeah, I feel like, at this point, I kinda get it. Samus is very strong, once again, and I'm very happy for her. But yeah, no. Now it just feels normal to have the power seed again. Though also, the other thing that's nice is having the screw attack, finally, which of course is like somersaults, but painful. So, screw attack won't kill every enemy in one hit, so you do have to be careful about what you jump into, but most things die immediately to your jump. Also, if you're wondering, I did have to split this cleanup into 3 separate takes, so that was the end of the first one, where I was like, alright, cool, I got a bunch of things, and also, I never want to have to do that Shinesparking segment again, so let's make sure that's fine.
Yeah, you've been calling this cleanup, but so far you've just been doing new stuff in a new area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is as far as I will go in the new area. So let's do this. Now, technically speaking, you don't need to Shinespark this. However, it is otherwise a very annoying kind of jumping challenge. So, you want to build up speed, and then just say, screw this one. I don't want to. The thing about somersaulting is it's very good for getting around, but it is so very unwieldy. And yeah, a door closes, so if you activate security, you can't get to that E-tank.
Shinesparking or Flappy Bird, which do you find less annoying?
Weirdly enough, it was Shinesparking in this point, which is weird, because again, terrible Shinesparking segment earlier, but like, this one was just so much more simple in comparison, because you have to deal with the whole slopes gimmick of Shinesparking in the other one, which is just kind of unintuitive and awkward. Anyway, this is one of the reasons why the segment is like this, because later you get to cheese it with a power bomb. I don't feel like that makes up for it, but whatever.
Especially since it doesn't actually clear out all of the blocks.
Mm-hmm. Power bomb radius is pretty big, but it is not the length of multiple screens.
I like how that save room had a way in that didn't require missiles just in case you were out.
Mm-hmm. Look, we had to stealth in here. Zero Suit Samus does not have missiles that strong.
That too, but it has the unintended side effect of not making you farm missiles from drops.
If you are somehow out of missiles...
I was about to say that, yeah. Considering that, like, the missile power-ups are just what they throw at you to give you things to find.
And would you believe it, we still don't quite have them all yet. I will say, though, 100%ing this hasn't really changed my opinion on 100%ing Metroid games, because really the only thing 100% does is just, it gives you more ammunition, right? But in terms of making you feel stronger, the main game does that just fine. Like, you start with Samus has a pea shooter and that's about it, too. You can just jump into things and they die, and that kind of just feels good enough to me. I'm fine leaving it at that.
I still am waiting for them to put Shinesparking into the Prime games. Also, I apologize if they've already done that, and I don't know because I haven't played all the Prime games.
Yeah, I feel like they haven't, but 1 is the one that I know the most due to everybody playing it. So I've seen a bunch of LPs, but Prime is not a game I have, or a series I have a lot of experience in. Alright, so if you're familiar with Super Metroid, you can do that here. You can just blow up the glass tube, if you'd like. Alright, so now we've definitely got some new areas to explore. So, while I did manage to pick up a bunch of super missile upgrades early, thanks to getting these super missiles early, there are still areas outside of Chozodia to travel to. Thankfully, at least, Metroid does do a thing where, like, while there are not, like, teleporters in this game, there are shortcuts between areas, so you'll oftentimes find just areas like this, I think. I'm pretty sure we're about to go to a different area, right? I mean, it's new, but I don't think it's one of the, I don't think this is Brinstar criteria. Especially since that's one of those fancy save rooms. That's the Chozo's extra special save point. I know that one. They made this one especially for Samus. Alright, we got an energy tank, and then we are forced to stay here. Gotta go back around the long way. Speaking of shortcuts, that is not one. This is a long cut.
Another fun thing about Shinesparking.
Mm-hmm. Love to be locked with the upgrade or just past a room. I had things I wanted to do here, game.
So it's frustrating to do the Shinesparking segments. Do you think it's just as frustrating to make the Shinesparking segments?
So like, in general, Metroidvania maps do feel like they are, like, very tight designs. Like, this type of game is hard to make where you have the player essentially going back and forth. You have to fool a human being into thinking they're kind of exploring to their own volition rather than just either zigzagging them through an area or just having them go, like, left and right, but in a fancy way. So yeah, I absolutely think that Shinesparking segments are a pain to shove into there. Because it's just all of the normal things, but then you're like, oh wait, I gotta account for a Shinesparking puzzle. Oh, sec, let me put it right here. Like, the one I did earlier, they had to just add so many slopes for no real reason other than having that Shinesparking segments.
And like when we do a Shinesparking segment, it's with the understanding that it's possible. When you have the QA testers doing it, it's to make sure that it's possible. So you just have to keep doing it until you decide, yeah, this is actually impossible. This is not on me this time.
QA is hell. Ah, jeez, yeah. I guess to a certain extent, like, if you're designing this sort of map, at the very least you sort of have the design in mind. Like, when you're designing a platformer, you think probably more in terms of, like, how many blocks Mario can jump, so you always technically know it's possible. As long as you're actually good at designing games. I feel like a more amateur thing is just, alright, I'm gonna throw everything together, here's a level. But yeah, I think when designing a place, you at least see, okay, so it takes this many blocks for Samus to actually activate the Shinespark, and so now gotta do all the other steps to make sure that, like, not only does she have enough space to run, but also so it's actually humanly possible to press the buttons in time. The other factor of this. But yeah, no, if QA finds that one of these is undoable, then that's just a bad time for everyone. Because they had to find that out, and then the level designer's like, I'm pissed.
And then the level designer does it in one shot.
I don't know why I found that so hard, guys. It's easy.
Alright, get rid of those blocks, then leave. Oh, it's for the Shinesparking. Of course!
When you have to ask, it's Shinesparking. Oh, by the way, did you know you could Shinespark diagonally as a ball? Fuck you if you didn't. Also, the angle of that one is very tight. I know this because I messed that one up so many times. You have to be in a very specific spot to destroy that.
Who designs the Shinesparking in Metroid games?
Satan.
I feel like
It's just the fucking devil himself.
it has to just be like one guy that everyone hates, right?
It's Shinesparking Sven again. God damn it. Alright, what's it this time, Sven? Oh boy! Oh, I'm going to put a diagonal Shinespark. Oh, for fuck's sake, Sven. Okay, like, how are we gonna find that out? Okay, well, if you jump all the way up and then power bomb, you'll reveal the Shinespark. Okay, no, normal bombs, normal bombs. Alright, I can make that compromise. If you jump all the way up, turn into a ball, fall down and bomb normally, then it's fine. You can just reveal them that way. Is that it, Sven? Are we done? Oh, yeah, sure. Though you should be a ball when you diagonal Shinespark. Ah, god, fucking sure, whatever, Sven.
Now for this Shinespark, you have to remove Metroid Zero mission and put in Metroid Fusion while you're Shinesparking.
Sven, we don't have lock-on technology.
I call it Stop and Shinespark.
This one features Knuckles from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. God damn it, Sven. We can't do that. You know we can't. You just do this to taunt us, Sven.
I do like the idea of Samus accidentally Shinesparking into a different game.
Oh, Adam, we're not in Kansas anymore.
She ends up in Sonic Advance and Knuckles, like, awkwardly asks her to leave.
Samus Shinesparks into Sonic 3, and then Knuckles uppercuts her and she loses all of her power-ups.
And then he takes them.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Samus. It starts pretty hard, but once you get all your upgrades back, oh boy. Death Egg is nothing. Just power bomb that stupid bowling ball boss, you're good.
Can't figure out the barrel? Just gravity jump. It's fine. I'm now picturing, like, Samus just... I know this is a different Sonic game, but Samus just running up to, like, that egg robot. It's the final boss of Sonic 2, I think.
Oh, the Death Egg robot.
Death Egg robot, yeah. And just unloading, killing it in, like, 10 seconds.
Hey, you know that boss that's only really hard because they decided you shouldn't have health for it? Well, guess what? You've got 2 full health meters. Just shoot him a bunch. It's fine. I know those are probably like eggs or something, but I'm just getting like weird faces from these like background objects. Oh geez, Samus, how are you walking under lava?
But definitely eyeballs. I don't know if I see full faces.
See a weird mouth.
Well, that's just rude.
Oh, absolutely. For a missile tank too, that's the thing. Like, that's just for a missile tank. It's not difficult, it's just... You have to take 10 more seconds to get this. So now I'm trying to think of, like, Metroidvania games I do bother 100%ing. The weird thing about Castlevania is, like, I feel like I technically 100% those games. I get everything important, but, like, that's also the game with, like, equipable items, and I don't ever really bother going for all items, so I don't know if that's true 100%.
You do everything that's fun.
I mean, technically I do that for Metroid as well. It's just that, you know, everything fun doesn't end with a complete missile counter sometimes. These things happen.
I don't even know what Metroidvanias I play. I know that there was, like, an indie craze. Much like how there was one for roguelikes. Where just... everybody was making Metroidvanias, whether they knew what they were doing or didn't.
Also, while I did pass the worst Shinesparking segment, that's not to say that the rest of them are completely fine, because this one also sucks. This one is also rude, because, yeah, if you fail any of these and stand on the ground too long, you fall through, and then you have to repeat this. This is just the rudest segment.
Metroid Zero Mission. Unnecessarily mean.
God, the only other Metroidvania game I can think of off the top of my head for some reason is Monster Tale. I definitely didn't 100% that. Yeah, that's the one that's by the same developers as Henry Hatsworth, so it was also sort of a combination game of, different styles, but I liked that one less. I also thought, I'm going to do, all of the monster upgrades, and then I hadn't even, the whole gimmick of that game is that you have a monster sidekick, and so you're growing them throughout the game. They start as a baby, and then they get, they get big. If you look at the game box, you'll see one of the end evolutions of it. I never got to that. I only ever did the baby ones, because it's a fairly short game that does not expect you to just go through all of the routes. You just pick a route you like, and you stick with it.
Okay, I had to double check my Steam library, because I have a game called Monster Sanctuary, which is also a Metroidvania that revolves around raising monsters. I thought maybe you were talking about that. No, that wasn't. That was a digital-only game. That you couldn't get a box of that.
Yeah, no, Monster Tale was a DS game.
I'm sure I played Metroidvanias. That was just the genre of indie game that I never really got super into.
I haven't even played Axiom Verge, so I have not touched much of the indie Metroidvania scene.
Thank you for saying Axiom Verge. I did play Axiom Verge. It's just been years and I didn't play Axiom Verge 2, so I haven't thought about it in so long.
Also, this is another rude room. You have to be very careful about what you blow up, because if you use a normal bomb, that will actually set off more of a chain reaction, which will destroy more blocks. Weirdly enough, Power Bomb is the one that will destroy fewer at a time. Alright, once again, whoa as we see the broken statue. But that being said, we can't dwell on that. I believe next stop is Kraid. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think we have 2 more areas to check out before we return to Chozodia. I am very much glad that I got the super missiles early. It was kind of a pain to do in the moment, because again, Shinesparking, but it does mean I have less backtracking. I suppose to a certain extent I do kind of respect, Metroid's commitment to not just letting Samus teleport around. As strong as she gets, teleportation is not really a thing you can just do casually, if at all, in Metroid. Unless you're the enemies.
And I do think that, unlocking shortcuts feels cooler than just having teleportation rooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting ahead of myself, I do appreciate that, the space station in Fusion is extremely connected in ways that you're not really normally allowed access to. You can't get to the shortcuts until the end of the game as usual, but it feels like you weren't supposed to. Like you finally found just the back alley or the backstage area of the station, and that's neat. I feel like this game could have used more shortcuts. I feel like there are a lot of long, bending, twisty passages that they just don't let you brute force later on. Because we have to do this segment again. And that's even a problem in Chozodia as well. And it didn't have to be. Okay, I get they wanted to be mostly faithful with the main game map, but they could have changed things in Chozodia. There could have been more shortcuts. Alright, okay, so we're done with Kraid now, which means there's actually one more area we can go to before returning to Drazodia, and you might be wondering, what is that area? Well, there's actually stuff that we could not get to in Torian. And you might think, oh, that's tedious then. They put stuff in the final area, but then you can't actually get to it, so you have to double back. I will say in this instance, I actually kind of like that they did this for reasons which we will be seeing soon. So, Torian looks a fair bit different now that it's blown up. So yeah, I love that they reward a curious player for returning to Torian, because like, once you discover that there is stuff to do, I mean, why wouldn't you check it out, right? Like you think, oh, well, I can return to the main map, can I still return to Torian? And then the answer is yes. And then not only can you go back here, they also just made it look completely different, like there's just a whole new background and tile set for it, and that's so cool. And also, now it's just acid down there, which also still hurts, even with Gravity Suit. Also, new function of Shinesparking that you might not have known of. You can actually shoot in midair in order to kind of cancel your somersaults, and then you'll be able to activate your Shinespark. Otherwise, you cannot activate a Shinespark midair because you're somersaulting. So you have to somersault cancel to Shinespark. Shinesparking is incredibly intuitive. Have I mentioned that? Have I mentioned how good it is? How the player just knows how it works? This is the equivalent of like requiring double grab in a Super Mario World hack. Like, yeah, sure, a normal player could discover that in gameplay. You could figure it out that, like, you can grab two things at once, but, like, sometimes players just don't figure out the fine little bits of gameplay like that. Like, I extremely would not have figured out that on my own. And look, it could be my disdain for Shinesparking coming through, because I don't really want to use it very often. I don't find it fun to experiment with, so I don't. So I guess to a certain extent, like, yeah, I'm not exploring all of the gameplay possibilities, but also, it's kinda hard to activate in the first place. I'm not gonna think to play around with it as much. Would I like to be the person who figured out backwards long jumping? Sure. Am I the person who could even conceive of it without knowing about it ahead of time? Absolutely not. I will not discover these things on my own.
I will say that forgetting to put caps on backwards speed is kind of like a more universal thing. So if you know that from, say, over-the-road Big Rigs Racing, you might think to try it in Mario.
But yeah, this game demands some knowledge of Metroid. Just a whole lot of it to get 100%. And I guess at the end of the day, like, as I keep saying, I won't normally 100% Metroid games. So I guess that's fair. Like, they put this tech in the game. I think it's fair that they, to a certain extent, want you to use it, but I don't know. I feel like I do kind of prefer games when they say, hey, here's this thing, it exists.
I think it's cooler when the weird hidden techniques can make things easier, but aren't required.
Yeah, I think that one's the best. Like, you can discover tech on your own, and that's really cool, but, like, you don't necessarily need it. That way it's actually rewarding in of itself without just being there to say, hey, can you figure out certain things as a normal player, not a speedrunner? No? Well, too bad. Look it up on YouTube. Nowadays, I am better about not necessarily feeling the need to 100% games, and that's kinda nice, but it does still affect your brain when you see a number that's not 100%. There will still be a part of you that goes, but what if I made the number go up, though? Number not big enough. Why number not big enough? Alright, and that's our final upgrade of the game. So, here's the numbers. Final numbers are 250 missiles, 30 super missiles, and 18 power bombs.
Terrible number for the power bombs.
Mm-hmm. In case you want to do that yourself, but also, why would you want to... You saw this, right? You saw, like, the second thing I had to do in this video, right? Why would you want to do this to yourself? Unfortunately, that is a thing I probably should have gotten on one of my initial run-throughs of Chozodia, because now I have to take the long way out, because again, not as many shortcuts as you might want. And I did kind of think that there was a way that looped in on itself that I could take advantage of, that I could not. I thought there was a shortcut when there wasn't. It was me misreading the map. But yeah, with that, Samus is as strong as she'll get. And if you're about to hit that save point, a word of warning, the final boss actually gets a little bit harder if you have 100% item completion. So, in case that's not something you want, don't save yet, but if you're fine with it, I don't think it makes it, like, overly hard or anything, so you'll probably be fine. Especially with 100% item completion. So, next time, we actually beat Metroid Zero Mission. We won't get blown up this time, I swear.